Hey y'all, it's your girl Liz Marie coming at you with Living Color Beauty, serving all mankind through aesthetics, cosmetology, and revelation. And this is my first Mental Health Monday checking in where I'm spreading awareness and bringing to you how it's like dealing with having a mental health disorder. We're going to jump right into it, get started. I have about 3 questions I'm going to share with you my first psychosis, my first episode, and just kind of just have a brief dialogue with you about dealing with my mental health diagnosis. So my diagnosis is schizoaffective bipolar disorder type 1, and basically that is characterized as a disorder where you have schizophrenic tendencies as well as mood disorders. It's broken up into 2 types, which is bipolar and depressive. I am bipolar type 1, so that means I range between manic and depressive episodes 2 weeks at a time. It's very draining. I try to navigate my disorder without taking medications, and every time I would try to do that, I would be good for a few years and always wind up back in the hospital. I just had my last hospitalization in September. I was hospitalized twice, once after I just got out of a toxic relationship, and 2, someone was tampering with my medication. So now I say that to say, if you're dealing with someone with a mental health illness, try to be there for them as much as you can as possible, because it is hard, especially dealing with the diagnosis after you've been a certain way for so long. It's new for me. I've had this diagnosis for 4 years and I'm 27 years old, so trying to unlearn a certain behavior pattern has been difficult for me. But I'm grateful for my friend groups and my family and the people that have stuck by my side as I'm learning these new techniques to better help me with my mental health and my progress thus far. How did I learn that I had a schizoaffective bipolar disorder? I learned that I had it in 2016. I got saved on January 4th. Shortly after, I went on a 2-week spiritual fast where I wasn't eating or sleeping for 2 weeks. So my senses were elevated. I was on a spiritual high. I started hearing and seeing things that were not there. I started confusing my friends and family as to be a part of a fantasy world that they were not. I ended up having to be admitted into the hospital. It was a very scary time for me. I was in the hospital for about a total of 3 months. Where I wasn't able to have a phone, I wasn't talking to people. My whole world was upside down, and I had just had so many great things that was happening, and I was so upset with God. Like, I just gave my life over to you, and as soon as I give my life over to you, you highlight the fact that a girl is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Like, I just couldn't believe that this was my new life, and this is how I was going to have to navigate life moving forward. And I was in denial for a long time. I wouldn't want to take my medication. I was still smoking, still drinking heavily, which is not very good for someone with the type of disorder that I have, because being that it is also part of schizophrenic tendencies, which means I have hallucinations and delusions. THC also adds to that, which means I already hear and see things that aren't there, so it makes it heightened. Since my last hospitalization in September, I have given up smoking. I don't smoke as much as I used to. I just started back having somewhat of a social life where I have a drink maybe on the weekends at the most, but I don't get drunk. I don't do the things that I used to do. Don't participate in certain drug activities, because it's just not conducive to where I'm trying to go and where I'm trying to be at in life. And I had to realize I had to let that stuff go and be more productive with what I'm trying to accomplish in life. During my lifetime, these last 4 years, I've been hospitalized 4 to 5 times for schizoaffective bipolar disorder. I've been in Chicago, Lakeshore, Hartgrove, and Ingalls. Ingalls is where, for the most part, if I do have a relapse, that's where they take me back to. I'm in the Chicagoland, South Suburb, Chicagoland area. I was born in Ingalls Hospital, so it's always like coming back home when I'm back there. And they treat me with love and care and support. And they always tell me, Olivia, we don't want to see you back here no more. And I'd be like, I ain't coming back. And then I end up coming back. So it's really like, working on it. It's a work in progress, because this thing called life is not easy, especially after losing my mom to stage 4 metastatic breast cancer. Life has been an uphill battle, but I thank God for trials and tribulations, because that's what makes us stronger, and without them we don't get to rely on him and bring us to our next level. So I used to think, woe is me, why me? But now I gladly accept the challenge. And why not me, that I get to spread awareness and highlight a topic that is so serious in the African American community, that is not talked about enough and is not taken seriously enough. There are so many celebrities that deal with mental health, and granted, I'm no celebrity, but somebody that can relate to it, because child, these marbles, trying to get them into array, woo, be a bit much. And it's grateful that I have a support system. I do realize not everybody has that, but I have a really good support system of people who don't have a problem inviting me over to their house, sitting down, talking with them, even if it's just to listen, because a lot of times I'm not looking for advice. I'm very hard-headed. That's one thing about me. I already know what I want. I'm already going to do what I want. What I'm looking for is someone that's going to understand and provide a story to let me know that I'm not the only person going through this by myself. And that's what this channel will do. You're not alone. We all got BS that we're going through, and you just got to hang in there and rely heavily on God. I got Psalm 46:5 tatted on me as a reminder that God is within her, she will not fall. And that's something that I hold heavily dear to my heart, because it is so easy to get down in the dumps about about the negative. And when you focus on the negative, it's hard to get yourself out of those things. But I'm grateful for my friends, my family, my sorority sisters that constantly pour into me on a regular basis, that let me know that I do got this. I am BTB, be that, BITCH, and you got this, and you got to continue to push yourself, because it's not over. As long that God wakes you up the next morning, that means you have something else to share, and it's not over. So always keep that in mind if you're going through something. Helping others has really helped me with my mental health awareness. I give free makeup classes, and I also do charge. It just depends on, I usually tell people I do it for free, but they're like, no, I want to give you something. But I do give free makeup classes for people, showing them how to do makeup. I am a certified esthetician, working on getting licensed in 2 states. I love makeup. I do special effects, makeup artistry. I have a bachelor's of arts in technical theater from Hampton University, where I do behind the scenes work of play productions. I'm working on getting my MFA in film and television with the emphasis in producing. I'm waiting on my acceptance letter for that. So I have a lot of dreams, goals, and ambitions, and I refuse to let the devils take me down and to stop me from preparing me for what God has over my life. And let that be a test and a trial and a triumph for someone else, that you can do it. You are not alone, because these voices in my head, sometimes you gotta get it together. We're not doing that today. We gotta get it together. So how do you cope? Like I said, I rely heavily on God, on my relationship. Psalm 46:5. I go to church on a regular basis. I actually volunteer at church. I listen to a lot of podcasts. Some of my favorite podcasts are Michael Todd, Heather Lindsay, Sarah Jakes Roberts, Joyce Myers. I rely on my Bible heavily. I like to read articles. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really big on reading books. My attention span after a short amount of time be shot. I'd be okay. I need a little audio or something. I had to cut out television, and that's something that I'm trying to get into. I don't watch TV anymore, because the images and the things that they put on TV was caused me to get into another psychosis back in 2017, and I ended up going in the hospital. So TV is a trigger for me. So I don't watch television. If I do, I watch it in a group setting. If I go to the movie theaters, I only watch certain movies. I do special effects, makeup. So I do like blood, gunshot wounds, stab wounds. I don't have no problem working on behind the scenes of a set, but I do not mess with scary movies, spirits, demons, none of that. Honey, I seen it all. I'm good. I don't want to be bothered with that. So we're going to move on to the next question, is how do you spread awareness? I'm spreading awareness through my channel. I spread awareness on checking through my friends. Always sharing a positive word. I love giving somebody a bad pep talk. I love uplifting people. I love encouraging people and letting you know that you're not alone, because I've been through so much. I lost my mom to stage 4 metastatic breast cancer back in 2015, and since the passing of my mom, that has been just one of the worst things that anybody can go through, and it has not been easy. but navigating life without her. But my mom has given me all the tools that I need to succeed, and it's time that I take those tools and apply them and go ahead and get what God has in store for me. So that concludes today's episode. I will have another episode for you next month where we'll be discussing lifestyle, how I change my lifestyle, do I work out, other things that I'm doing, and just stay tuned. I'll see you on the next episode. Thank you.